Good afternoon. Today we are going to do section 5-5, again, which is talking about more triangle inequalities. The first triangle inequality we discussed was concerning when I have a triangle that the largest side is opposite the largest angle. Today what we're going to look at is an inequality concerning line lengths. So if I have three segments, can these three make a triangle? The question I want you to pause and think about for a minute is, can any three sides make a triangle? Or is there a property that always must be true? So hopefully you thought about that for a moment. And the answer is, there is a property that must always be true. The triangle inequality theorem states, the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. So in my triangle up here, xy plus yz has to be greater than xz. And this works for any of the three sides. So yz plus zx has to be greater than yx, and zx plus xy has to be greater than zy. Now, why is this true? Well, if I had two sides, any two sides I wanted, I have them drawn here. If the angle between them was a straight angle, or 180 degrees, they would not form a triangle because they would just add together. Therefore, in order to have a triangle, the third side has to be longer than the combination of those two added together, so that there has to be some bending happening between those two sides. Can the following be the sides of a triangle? Again, pause the video, figure out the answers, and come back. Welcome back. So the first one is 15, 16, and 30. And the answer is yes, that can be the sides of a triangle, because 15 plus 16 is greater than 30, 15 plus 30 is greater than 16, and 16 plus 30 is greater than 15. However, when I look at question B, 2 plus 8 is not greater than 11. Therefore, it cannot be a triangle. Now, it does not matter that 8 plus 11 is greater than 2, and 2 plus 11 is greater than 8. It has to work for all three combinations, so I only need to find one condition where it doesn't work for it not to be a triangle. Again, remember, that's our counterexample rule. Our next example is, if the measures of two sides of a triangle are 3 feet and 7 feet, which is the least possible whole number measure for the third side? Take a moment, figure it out. And our answer is going to be, the least possible measure is going to be C, because while 7 minus 3 does equal 4, 4 cannot be the side, it has to be greater than 4. Therefore, of our choices, the least possible one could be 5. And we also know that x has to be greater than 10, so that 7 plus 3 satisfies. So 10 cannot be the case either. So the least number is between 4 and 10, so it's 5 from our choices. Obviously, it could be 4.001. Which of the following could not be the value of n? Figure it out. And the one that cannot be n is choice J, because 9 plus 13 is 22, and 9 plus 13 has to be more than the third side, so 22 is not more than 22. And now we're going to see how we can use this in a proof. So what I would like you to do is pause for a couple minutes and think about this, then come back and we'll figure it out together. Welcome back. So now that you're back, I am given that GL is equal to LK, which means by the definition of congruence, those are congruent. And I want to prove that JH plus GH is greater than JK. Well, if I'm looking at this, that really involves multiple triangles. So we know that GL is equal to LK, that's given. And if we look at our diagram, we know that JH plus GH has to be greater than GJ to the triangle inequality here. Two sides have to add together to be greater than the third side. And then I know that GJ is equal to GL plus LJ, the segment addition postulate. I can substitute LK, or I can substitute JH plus GH in for GJ and have it become an inequality since GH is greater than GH, or GH plus JH plus GH is greater than GJ. I can substitute that in for GJ and make it become an inequality. I can then substitute LK for GL. And then lastly, looking at our smaller triangle here, we have that LK plus LJ has to be greater than JK. And then again, if I use the transitive property between steps 5 and 6, I get that JH plus GH is greater than JK. Don't forget to always write your conclusions in a proof. So that is the end of that video for today. We are nearing the end of chapter 5. We will do some chapter review and your test is on Thursday. Again, please bring any questions to me in class.